Okay, everybody, welcome to another edition of WCW 2002 as we're heading towards Mayhem and the month of the Mayhem Tournament continuing. But before we hit Nitro, let's just look over Saturday night real quick since, like I said, some important quasi stuff might be happening. So, as a quick look over, Tajiri defeating Yang, Skipper, and Courageous in a four-way. Konami won a squash. Air Ray defeated the Mamalukes and then basically called out Jared and Douglas officially. And then in our main event, Jordan Cole defeating Lexi James. After they had a quick promo, and basically this sets up Cole entering a women's title match possibly, which will continue on the next Saturday night and on Nitro once we actually have space for it. Anyway, let's get to the Nitro and let's get rolling. First, in the pre-show, America's Most Wanted defeating 3 Count, the Young Dragons, and Skipper and Romeo in, 12:24, 54C-, perfectly good match, and everybody's getting some ring time. And then in our quick 6-man before the show, which will probably be better than like half the stuff on the show as far as in-ring stuff, Rhodes, RVD, and Wright defeating Awesome and Jindrak and Stasiak in 14:37 when RVD defeating Mark Jindrak by pinfall with the 5-star frog splash. So not too bad. 77B. Like I said, probably better than half the stuff that'll actually be on the show. Now we actually opens up things with the Horsemen showing up. They basically open the show. Canyon reminds everybody nobody's better than Canyon. You know, this tournament might be taking up space on TV right now, but he's still the world champion, the best in the business, the future of WCW, the president of WCW, the best in the world. Flair, says, he's going to take that kid AJ to school tonight, and once he's done with him, they might not even have a chance to take on Jared and Douglas at Mayhem for the tag titles. And Jared and Douglas say, basically the same thing. A 96A star, because, all these people are really good at their job. And then we're off to actual title matches. I mean, not title matches, but tournament matches, as Billy Kidman defeats Chuck Palumbo, the U.S. champion, in 10:54 by pinfall with the Kid Crusher after Misty interferes. So I imagine Misty getting up on the ringside area, Palumbo coming over, Misty, kneeing him in the nuts, Palumbo stumbling out, Kidman hitting the Kid Crusher and getting the pinfall. 73B-, not too bad at all. And then we have Kidman making the belt motion after making out with Misty. And that gets a 76B-. Kidman is actually getting slowly over as a heel. Then we have AMW backstage. They do another promo making fun of the Road Warriors again for being, old, using injections to stay, relevant, shoot on the rehab, basically being assholes. 52D+. And then basically we have Vampiro entering, then we have Jason Jett coming into the ring, and as they're facing off for the tournament match, out of nowhere, Moonjar comes in, basically drills Jet with the, angel wings, and then rolls out of the ring. That gets a 71B-. And then, in the actual match, Vampiro defeats Jason Jett by 440 by pinfall with the nail in the coffin, and that gets a friggin' 77. Jesus. And yeah, Vampiro just, basically, Jet tries to fight him off, but he's been hit by a finisher, and also Vampiro is just better, and Vampiro gets the win. And we look like it's going to be a Vampiro and Morningstar beatdown, but then Tajiri, who announcers note have won a 4-way on the last Saturday night, and Booker run down to make the save. And, basically the Dip will back off, and then the babyfaces help Jet up. And that gets a 79B to basically build up, now that we can actually, officially announce it, Vampiro Booker for next week in the tournament. And also, they note next week will be Kidman versus Sting in the tournament as well. And then next up, we've got Helms doing in-ring. Basically, he's hyping up Reno as he's about to face Goldberg. And Dusher comes out like, come on, do you guys really think once you ruin Goldberg's first match back, get the hell out? He basically throws out everybody but Reno, who's actually there for the match. And yeah, 86B+. And then we've got Goldberg's actual entrance. That gets an 86B+, because it's Goldberg doing the entrance, and it's awesome. And then the actual match, which, well, what do you expect? Basically, Goldberg defeats Reno in 359 pinfall with spear. That gets a 59. It's just a total Goldberg squash. It's exactly what you would want. And then basically Goldberg is celebrating. He comes out, but the rest of the Horsemen are also coming out, and they have a quick stare down as underscore the fact that, you know, it could be Goldberg and Ric Flair at Mayhem in a semifinal match, and that gets us 83B+, but they also note that it will be Goldberg and Jarrett next week, so, you know, there you go. And then we have Ric Flair defeating AJ Styles by 920 by pinfall, following interference from Jeff Jarrett and Shane Douglas. So this is like every Ric Flair versus a lower card guy in the 80s and 90s when he was a heel and had the Horseman around. So basically, he plays around with him, AJ gets his comeback, and then Horsemen interfere, and Ric Flair picks up the win. And that gets a 76B- because, yeah, it's really solid. And then basically we have an attempted Horseman beatdown, but this time, instead of Goldberg, who is backstage, RVD, who will be Flair's opponent next week, comes out and makes a save with a chair, you know, basically running off the Horseman. That gets us an 82B. And then next, we have our next to last tournament match, as Kevin Nash, in his return to TV, defeats Lex Luger in 637 by pinfall with a jackknife powerbomb. And this gets a 58C-, and probably should not have been put in this spot. But, you know, you live and learn. And then Kevin Nash, you know, basically DB comes out. They have some fun shoot comments with the other, putting on the fact they'll be facing off against each other next week. And then as, like, they're both playing the crown, boom, Diamond Cutter. You know, Under Day Star saving, because both these guys are really charismatic, despite leaning toward crap in the ring at this point. Well, DDP's not bad, but Nash is, like you guys just saw, not that great. Anyway, Under Day Star, so not bad at all. And then we have our main event. Basically, like in a wild brawl or just a back and forth match. Scott Steiner defeats Sean O'Haire in 10-10 by pinfall, not with a handful of tights, after hitting him with a pipe. So yeah, basically brawl. Ref gets distracted. Steiner grabs the pipe, wallops O'Haire with it, and gets the pin. 82B, 10-10, really solid match. Everybody does really well. And then afterwards, we have a Steiner beatdown, but Ray Jr. tries to save, but Steiner's about to kill him as well, as not just put over that there will, you know, Steiner and Ray Jr. will be facing off in the next round. And then, but then O'Haire grabs Steiner, kick wham Widowmaker, and there you go, 88B+. And then we have our final segment. So basically, like, imagine that, like, you know, the announcers are, you know, putting over everything coming up in the next couple weeks in the Mayhem Tournament, and, you know, Air Raid versus Jarrett and Douglas, and everything else. And then all of a sudden, what you see is Goldberg and the Horsemen basically brawling with the injury. So, like, Goldberg, like, basically fighting off Flair, Jarrett, and Douglas. And then the camera pans up, and what you see is both AJ Styles and Air Paris on basically the WCW signage, and they both run and jump the fuck off the top of the WCW sign onto everybody. You know, that's where your show closing angle / image, and that gets an 85B+, and there we go. And that gets an 89A, because it was actually well booked, and hell, Nash Luger didn't even ruin things. But yeah. So yeah, there we go. We have our, so you know, we've got the next round of the tournament set. We sort of got our tag title match set. We got a cruiserweight angle getting forward. AMW being AMW towards the Road Warriors. Fun stuff with the Horsemen and Goldberg. It's almost like I'm setting something else there. And there you go. And so Nitro's actually in the top spot here. But let's look at Raw, what Raw did. Okay, so Taker defeated Angle in 99. And then they had Eddie Guerrero defeating Skull. Really good use of Eddie, guys, really. DX defeating X Factor again. And yeah, that's about it. Anyway. Let's see here. Nope, typical stuff. Goldberg doesn't like Kid Romeo. Okay. Nash doesn't like Evan Courageous. Okay. Anyway. So that's all for now. So if you enjoyed this thing, go ahead and give it a like. Comment on what you're enjoying or not enjoying. And if, you know, want to see more of this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We'll keep on going, at least till TEW 2020 comes out, and we'll go from there. Anyway, that's all for now. See you later. Adios.